I purchased Final Fantasy VII Remake twice, and here's why. What's up, people? It's your boy, the 80s Baby Gamer of Retro Bros United, coming to you with a really quick review video of Final Fantasy VII Remake on the Nintendo Switch 2 and why I chose to purchase it a second time. Now, if this is your first time coming to the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and also turn on your notifications so that you can know when we leave new content. All right, so let's get into it. Before I go into why I purchased this a second time, let me give you a little bit of my history with Final Fantasy VII Remake, or just Final Fantasy VII in general. I first played Final Fantasy VII back in 1997 on the PlayStation 1. My boy INS143, aka William Taylor, he went and rented the game, and he played it, and the cutscenes and the summons and everything, man, they were insane. I hadn't seen nothing like it. The characters were amazing, the story was engaging, and probably most importantly, the music. The music was insane. Shout out to Nobuo Uematsu for creating probably the best score for a video game that I've ever seen or heard in my life. And it was probably the craziest game I had ever seen to that point. I remember us getting kicked out of the library because we printed out like a 100-page guide over like a dot matrix printer to just be able to know how to play the game and know where to go. Prior to that, I was not really into RPG games. I mean, I knew about Zelda. I might have played it a couple times on Nintendo. I actually owned a game called Exodus for the Nintendo, and I just couldn't get into it. Even with the next gen systems like the Genesis and the Super Nintendo, they had some really great games. You had the Final Fantasy, I believe it was Final Fantasy 4 or 3. You had Chrono Trigger. There was a bunch of games. Again, I just could not get into them. So fast forward to 2020 of April, during COVID, Final Fantasy VII Remake came out, and it was a smash. It was everything that we thought the 97 version could be. It was exactly when we saw it in our heads, when there were no voices. You know, the technology just did not exist to create a game of this caliber. And it was perfect, in my opinion. It encompassed everything we thought it should, and it also exceeded our expectations. Well, it exceeded my expectations. So here we are in 2026, and Final Fantasy VII Remake is now on the Switch 2. So my reason for purchasing the second time is, one, I wanted to relive that feeling of just seeing Final Fantasy VII in a current gen system. The second thing is, I just wanted to know how the Switch 2 would handle a game of this caliber. Now, granted, this is a game that came out in PS4 in 2020, but from my understanding, this is the retrograde version that was released on PS5. So this is a good game to compare the current gen systems of the PS5, the PS5 Pro, the Xbox Series S and X to the Nintendo Switch 2. And I gotta say, when I popped it in and I started playing it, I was immediately impressed. The visuals look great. The music and sound stuff is there. The controls were tight. It all looks good. There might have been a couple of soft textures when it came to like Cloud's hair and things like that, but nothing that makes you feel like, oh man, this game just does not compare to the PS5 version. It plays extremely well. The controls are tight. It did take me a little while getting used to pressing A and Y and B when I'm so used to using square and X. So it kind of threw me off a little bit. I had to look down at my controller to see what button I was supposed to push. But other than that, man, I mean, it was great. It was great. And the main reason for me getting this was to be able to play it portably. Like, to be able to take a game like Final Fantasy VII and play it on the go, and it play and look just like it did on the PlayStation 4 or the PS5, I mean, that's an experience you just can't put a dollar price on. At least that's in my opinion. You know, when you're playing it handheld, it looks just as smooth, it plays just as great. Yeah, the graphics are as tight as they are when you have it in dock mode, but For it to be on a handheld with that big screen, it looks amazing. It plays great. It's just another way, another dimension to revisit that game. When you're on the go, you can play it when you're in the airport. You can play it, when you're sitting and waiting for your oil change or something like that. Just anytime you have some downtime and you got your Switch 2 with you, you can pop in Final Fantasy VII Remake and just revisit it again. Now, for those of you who did not have a PlayStation 4 or a PlayStation 5 and did not have the opportunity to play this game, the Switch 2 version is a great way to be introduced to this game. I think everyone should take a stab at it, man. I think it's probably one of the better games that you're going to find on the Switch 2. It definitely encompasses the power of the Switch 2. And now with the announcement of the release of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, I feel like I got to purchase that one a second time as well, because I got to see how that performs. That is a true PS5 game. And I got to see how that performs on a Switch 2. How does that convert over? But we'll leave that for a second video. Anyway, I thank you guys for tuning in. Again, please like, share, subscribe, comment, and turn on your notifications so you can get those notifications when we drop some new content. Thanks for tuning in. Catch you guys in the next one.